Have you ever wondered how you can be the best version of yourself in a relationship? This is a question many people may ask because deep down, we all want to be loved and appreciated by those around us. But how can we achieve this? We are interested in the truth. We are interested in people, not just internal qualities or achievements. We are truly in our field. Consider every relationship as your job, and you are your own explorer. You want to uncover the hidden treasures of your soul and share it with others. But to do this today leads to a sense of connection and ultimately love. You need a roadmap. Based on 9 lessons from Stoic philosophy, I will guide you in discovering your value in relationships. So pay attention to what they are, not the empty advice you often hear about empowering yourself in ways you might not think of. You are ready to unlock the secrets to cultivating a life filled with love and meaningful relationships built on mutual respect and inner strength. Now let's start. Lesson number 1. Knowing how much you're really worth. So what does Stoicism have to do with knowing your worth in relationships? Stoics believed that we should focus on what we can control, and guess what? You have full control over your own self-worth. It's not about how many likes you get on social media or if someone shows interest in you. It's about how you see and value yourself. Imagine that you are a jewel. Some people might walk by a rare gem without understanding how valuable it is, but that doesn't change the gem's value. It's still precious, rare, and one of a kind. That's how you are. Your value doesn't change just because someone misses it. To be honest, we've all been turned down and felt like we weren't good enough, especially in today's world where everyone seems to be doing well. But here's the truth from a Stoic point of view. Your worth doesn't rest on what other people say about you. It comes from how you act and your values. Your true worth comes from the things you do, like being kind, honest, and living in a way that is in line with your values. Stoics believed in thinking about oneself, so take a moment to think about your traits, not just the obvious ones, but also the more profound ones. When it comes to partnerships, it's important to find strength in what you already know to be true, recognizing your own worth even if no one else does. Remember that recognizing your worth isn't a one-time thing. It's a journey that lasts a lifetime. It means waking up every day and telling yourself that you're valuable, not because of what other people think, but because of the things that make you unique. Lesson number 2. Please treat yourself with respect. Now, before you start picturing a Stoic as this stern, unsmiling figure from old times, let me clear the air. Stoicism isn't about hiding your feelings or not caring. It's about knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. And guess what? The way you present yourself deserves your attention, so let's talk about what it means to present yourself with dignity in relationships. Have you ever noticed that sometimes we go to great lengths to impress someone, only to lose sight of who we really are? We change how we dress and speak in order to get their approval, but here's the key point. And this is where our calm and wise perspective comes in. Respect is not based on the clothes you wear or the cool places you hang out. It's based on how you act, what you do, and the choices you make. Imagine you're in a classroom watching 2 students give speeches. One student uses big words and gestures to impress the crowd, while the other student keeps their cool and talks naturally and with confidence. Which student do you think leaves the most lasting impression? Usually it's the one who is real and at ease with themselves, isn't it? This shows how important it is to treat yourself with respect. The Stoics, who were known for their ideas about self-control and virtue, stressed how important it was to be honest and treat yourself with respect. How does this relate to dating today? It's simple. Be true to yourself. If you love reading, do it. If you have a strong passion for something, let it show. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about being comfortable and sure of who you are and knowing that you are valuable just the way you are. Another important point. Treat yourself with respect. How you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you're always criticizing yourself, others will think it's okay to do the same. On the other hand, when you respect yourself, you value your time, energy, and feelings. When you say something, you mean it. I deserve respect and expect to be treated with it. A wise Stoic philosopher once said, "It's not what happens to you that matters in relationships, but how you react to it. It's not just what you say or how you look. It's how you act in different situations. Are you acting with desperation or dignity? Are you giving up your values to fit in, or are you staying true to yourself even if it means being alone?" This doesn't need perfection. We all have flaws and feel weird sometimes. What matters is how you handle those times. Are you weak when things get tough, or do you learn and keep going? Let's stop and think about how we can start to treat ourselves with more respect. It could mean making clear limits or saying no to things that don't fit with our morals. Additionally, it could mean being kind and respectful to ourselves more. If you think you deserve respect, others will start to agree with you. Lesson number 3. How to communicate without words. I know this may sound a little old-fashioned or strict at first, but please hear me out. It's not about being hard to talk to. It's about knowing your worth and loving yourself. What does Stoicism say about this? Stoicism teaches us how to stay strong and in control, but not in a boring or strict way. It's about knowing what's important and not giving it away too easily in a world where we want things right away and scroll through social media all the time. When we're in a relationship or just getting to know someone, we often feel rushed to share everything with them, our time, our space, and our deepest feelings. But Stoics would tell you to take a step back. They say this because when something is always available, it loses its uniqueness. It's just how humans are. If you're always there for someone when they need you, saying yes to everything, where's the fun in that? The puzzle looking forward to? Let's talk about how to politely break rules. The tough way. Firstly, it starts with how you look. Dressing stylishly but modestly sends a message that says, "I respect myself." You're not hiding who you are, but you're also not revealing everything right away either. It's about finding balance and saying, "There's more to me than what you see." Managing your time and focus is also very important. In today's highly connected world, choosing who gets your time is an important choice. It's not about playing games. It's about reminding myself that my time is valuable and that I carefully choose how to spend it. When you're with someone, you should be fully present and involved. But when you're not, it's okay to be unavailable and focus on your own personal growth and life goals. Stoicism also stresses emotional self-mastery. It doesn't promote being cold or disconnected. Instead, it promotes maintaining a balanced perspective. This means not letting small things affect you too deeply. It's about staying calm and peaceful. You don't give your emotional energy to everyone. It's something that you earn, just like your time and attention. I'm not saying you should stop caring about other people or act like a stoic statue. We're all human, and real relationships are important for a happy life. But there's something special about taking things one step at a time. Pace is about making links that aren't just about getting what you want right away. It's about building deep, lasting relationships that go beyond instant gratification and quick fixes. Setting limits isn't about controlling people or playing games. It's about respecting yourself and staying true to your values. It's about showing that you deserve to be treated with respect, both through words and actions. So let's be a little more selective, composed, and stoic in our relationship approach. It's about finding a balance between being open and careful, between sharing and holding back a bit. And trust me, it has a huge impact on how others see and treat you. Cheers to valuing ourselves and EMB brushing up on our stoicism in today's dating scene. Lesson number 4, be ready to walk away. Stoicism has a strong idea about letting go, not in a cold or heartless way, but by knowing what we can change and what we can't. One of the most empowering things we can do is choose whether to stay or leave a situation that doesn't serve our well-being. This is especially important in relationships. We've all been in situations where we know we deserve better but choose to stay. It could be out of fear of being alone, fear of change, or just holding on to hope that things will get better. This is where stoicism comes in. Real strength comes from knowing that we have the power to stay or leave situations that go against our values and choose a different path. If things get tough in a relationship, it takes work, time, and understanding. But it's important to know your values and self-worth so well that you're ready to move on when something fundamentally goes against them. It's about having the inner strength and stoic courage to say, I respect myself too much to settle for less than I deserve. Let's look into this idea in more detail. Being able to leave a situation shows that you respect yourself. It means standing up for what you believe in and knowing what you're worth. Leaving doesn't have to be a big deal all the time. Sometimes it's just a quiet choice, a peaceful understanding that this isn't right for you. I get that not knowing what the future holds can be scary, but remember our stoic friends. They taught us how to be strong in difficult situations and accept life's unknowns. To understand that letting go of something that doesn't fit with your path is sometimes the hardest thing you can do when you're in a relationship and know that you're there because it fits your ideals. This view can change everything. Not because you don't want to leave. This is a game changer. It changes the whole dynamic. You're not staying out of desperation or fear. You're staying because it's your real choice. And that's the important thing. When you bravely leave behind what doesn't serve you, you make room for what does. It's like clearing out the past to make room for the future. It's about believing that better things are waiting for you and giving yourself the chance to find them. Let's remember that being ready to move on doesn't mean being cold or uncaring. It means loving and respecting ourselves enough to say, I deserve something better. It means being strong when problems come up and knowing that our worth doesn't depend on other people or things. It's important to know when to walk away in many areas of life, such as work, relationships, and personal growth. This concept stresses how important it is to set limits, know your worth, and keep your self-respect. It means being brave enough to leave settings that aren't good for you or don't fit with your values. Getting good at this skill can help you have better relationships, do better work, and live a fuller life. Know how much you're worth. Know and respect what you're worth. It is important to know what you bring to the table in every situation, like a job, a friendship, or a negotiation. Being self-aware gives you the power to choose things that match your worth and not settle for less. Make ground rules. Set limits and stick to them to protect your goals and well-being. Setting clear limits makes it easier to know when something is hurtful or unfair, which makes it easier to leave. For mental and physical health, this is very important. Read the red flags. Please be careful to spot the signs that something is not going to go well. Disrespect, not being appreciated, acting in an inappropriate way, or not having your needs met could be red flags. If you notice these signs early, you can escape long-lasting bad experiences. Get ready for the consequences. Giving up can have instant effects, like losing money, feeling hurt, or not knowing what to do next. You should be ready for these problems and have a plan ready. This could mean doing things like saving money, asking friends and family for help, or looking for new chances. Build up your self-trust. Believe in your gut and your reasoning. Most of the time, your gut will let you know when something is wrong. Self-trust means having faith in your own ability to make good choices for your future and well-being, even when it's hard to say no. You can make choices that will make your life more fulfilling and respectful if you understand and follow these principles. Lesson number 5. Setting limits without speaking up. Stoicism stresses that deeds are more important than words. Stoics believe that actions should speak louder than words. This is especially important when talking about putting limits in relationships. Talking about your limits is one thing, but showing them through your deeds is much more powerful. Think about this. It's easy to say what your limits are. While I won't put up with mistreatment, the real test is whether you will stick to your rules or give in when you see it. That's where real strength lies. Not in words, but in deeds. I know this isn't easy. It can be tough, especially when emotions are involved. But let's remember what the Stoics said. We have the power to decide how to react to things. When someone crosses a boundary, it's not just your words that set and enforce that boundary. For example, let's say honesty is one of your core values and someone lies to you. How you react shows how serious you are about your boundaries. Whether you choose to calmly address the issue or decide to step back, your actions show how committed you are to your values. Showing self-respect by acting in a way that is in line with your beliefs is what it's all about. This can make a big difference in relationships. When people see that you have clear boundaries and are willing to enforce them, they get a better idea of what you will and won't accept. It's about developing self-respect and sticking to it. Let us look at a basic idea in a straightforward way. The little things that happen every day are just as important as the big events. When plans change at the last minute or someone doesn't value you enough, how do you react? Do you ignore it or calmly let them know that their behavior is not acceptable? This is where Stoic mindfulness comes in. It's about paying attention to the present moment and how you react to it. Are your actions in line with your limits? Are you being true to yourself? It's important to pay attention to the little things because that's when your limits are really put to the test as you go about your day and talk to other people. When we set our limits, let's try to be a little more patient. We don't have to be stubborn or unbending. We just need to have an inner guide that tells us what to do and how to react. Trust me on this. This makes people pay attention. They start to see you as someone who not only sets limits, but also cares enough about themselves to stick to them. Lesson number 6. Things you do say louder than words. As we've learned, Stoicism is about using common sense. It means judging people by what they do, not just what they say. In our world, a lot of people say nice things but don't do what they say. This is especially true in relationships. Stoics tell us to look past the charm and pay attention to actions instead, because actions reveal what is truly real. Think about this. It's easy for someone to say everything perfectly and paint a picture of a future that seems perfect. But are they really doing what they say? Are their actions backing up what they say? That's where the truth lies. Let's be honest. We've all been there. We meet someone, they say amazing things, and we're enchanted. But as time goes on, their actions don't match their words. They say they'll call, but they don't. They make plans, but they cancel at the last minute. But we still believe what they said. Now is the time for our inner calm to take over. Stoicism tells us not to let words or feelings change our minds. When someone's actions don't match their words, that's a warning sign. It's like the universe is telling you, hey, pay attention, something isn't right here. This way of thinking changes how you deal with relationships instead of letting promises and sweet words sweep you away. You start to pay attention to little things like how they act. People who are under pressure should keep their promises and be present for you, not only through words, but also through meaningful actions. It's interesting that when you pay attention to what people do instead of just what they say, you set a standard. You're telling them, I'm not just listening to your words, I'm watching your actions. And that really makes an impact. They realize they can't just talk their way into your life. They have to prove they're real and worthy of your trust. But remember that this isn't about being negative or doubting everyone. It's about being smart, about protecting your feelings with a dose of stoicism. Insight means not letting your feelings get the best of you and staying grounded. So let's remember to pay attention to actions as well as words. Let's approach love with a calm, reasonable, observant, and thoughtful attitude, because actions speak louder than words in the end. Actions speak louder than words means that what people do is more important than what they say. This concept says that actions and behavior are better ways to figure out what someone is thinking and feeling than words they say. People often think that deeds speak louder and more clearly than words, whether they are in a personal relationship, at work, or with other people in society. This idea tells people that they should show their morals and intentions by doing things instead of just talking about them. Behavior shows what people really want. Point. What people do shows more about their goals and intentions than what they say. Words can be dishonest or misleading, but actions usually come from good intentions and show what someone really believes and values. How to build trust. Through actions. Point. Being consistent with what you do builds trust and confidence. Explanation. People earn trust by always doing what they say they will do. Actions that you can count on build a sense of honesty and dependability. Effects and effects. Point. What you do affects other people more than what you say. This means that what people see others doing is more likely to affect them than what they hear them say. A great way to encourage and motivate people is to set a good example. As proof actions. Point. One's actions show what kind of person they are and what they want to do. People's deeds show what they really believe in and stand for, while words are more general and can be manipulated. Putting words and actions in sync. Point. For something to be authentic, it needs to match what it says and what it does. It's important for people to believe what they say if they want to be seen as honest and reliable. This alignment shows that the person is honest and reliable, which boosts their trustworthiness. Actions speak louder than words is an old proverb that shows how important actions are over words. In a world where words are cheap, our deeds are what show what we really believe, earn trust, and leave a lasting mark. We can build stronger relationships, lead better, and create a culture of honesty and dependability by putting what we do ahead of what we say. Lesson number 7. Developing a healthy skepticism. Stoicism and reality go hand in hand. Stoics believed that we should see things as they really are, not how we want them to be. This way of thinking can help us in love and dating. When someone says all the right things, we want to believe them, even if there are red flags we choose to ignore. This is where adopting a Stoic mindset can be helpful. Being appropriately skeptical is like having a superpower. It means staying realistic and not accepting everything without question. It means being aware, asking questions, and not rushing into things without giving them some careful thought. Let's say you meet someone new and they seem great. They say lots of nice things and even talk about a future together, but it's only been a short time. Your skeptical Stoic mind would tell you to take it easy, see if their actions match their words, and watch how things go. Skepticism isn't about asking a lot of questions or doubting everything the other person does. Instead, it's about being thoughtful. It means not only listening to what they say, but also watching what they do. It means taking the time to really understand someone, to see if they're honest and consistent. The Stoics stressed using logic and reason in relationships, instead of letting your emotions take over. This is important because when our emotions take over, we may miss important details. But when we combine them with skepticism and logical thinking, we can see things more clearly. And here's another important thing. Keeping a bit of skepticism is a way to protect your heart. When you're not rushing into something without knowing for sure, you give yourself a chance to understand the other person's true nature instead of putting your own wants onto them. That's why it's important to have a little Stoic skepticism. It's about being smart, paying attention, and not letting our feelings take over. It's about keeping ourselves and our emotional health safe. It's not about shutting down, but about taking new chances with careful thought and wisdom. When you have healthy skepticism, you question and think about information, views, and claims before you accept them as true. It involves finding a balance between uncertainty and openness so that people can make smart choices without being too trusting. In today's world, where false and biased information is common, it's important to develop a good sense of doubt. It helps people learn how to think critically, sparks their intellectual curiosity, and pushes them to think in a way that is both analytical and open-minded. Understand how important evidence is. The main idea is that not all claims are true and that strong proof is very important. Explain. Stress how important it is to look for reliable sources and proof that can be checked before believing any claim. Encourage people to think about the strength of the proof, the credibility of the source, and how well the information fits with what is already known. Ask important questions. Key idea. Skepticism is based on asking questions. To explain, make it a habit to ask things like, who is making this claim? What evidence supports this claim? Are there alternative explanations? Along with, What do experts say? This helps find beliefs, biases, and possible mistakes in the information that is being given. Know how to spot cognitive biases. Important idea. Watch out for mental shortcuts that can mess up your thought. To explain, bring up common cognitive biases like confirmation bias, which means favoring information that backs up what you already believe. Availability heuristic, which means depending on the first examples that come to mind. And anchoring bias, which means putting too much weight on the first piece of information you come across. Knowing about these biases can help make decisions with less of an effect from them. Check the sources and trustworthiness. Important idea. Not every source is the same. To explain, stress how important it is to check the reliability of sources of information. Talk about things like the author's experience, the reputation of the magazine, possible conflicts of interest, and the existence of peer review. Encourage people to check information with more than one reliable source. Be skeptical and open-minded at the same time. Main idea. Be cautious, but also willing to learn new things. Explain. Bring up the need for a fair approach. Even though skepticism means having doubts and questions, it shouldn't turn into cynicism or an open rejection of new ideas. Encourage people to be open to new knowledge and points of view, to change their beliefs based on that, and to stay ready to change what they think based on new solid evidence. Growing a good sense of doubt is an important skill for figuring out the huge amount of information out there these days. People can make better choices and avoid being misled by valuing evidence, asking important questions, being aware of cognitive biases, evaluating sources, and keeping an open mind while being skeptical. This method not only improves individual judgment, but it also helps make society smarter and more educated. Lesson number 8. It takes courage to say no with stoicism. It's important to stay true to your ideals and have the bravery to do so. This is especially important when it comes to relationships because it means being clear about your beliefs and not being afraid to stick to them, even if it causes problems. For example, if you're in a relationship and your partner suggests doing something that doesn't feel good to you, it could be moving too quickly or asking you to do something that goes against your values. It might seem like the simple choice, but this is where your tough mentality comes in handy. Saying no in these situations is all about respecting yourself, your beliefs, and your limits. The little voice in your head keeps telling you that this isn't easy. It can be really hard, especially if you care about the person. They whisper, what if telling them no makes them not want to talk to you? But here's the thing, we need to get brave. Stoicism isn't just about dealing with problems in the outside world. It's also about dealing with problems inside our own heads. Truthfully stating no is a sign of self-respect. It shows that you value yourself highly and will not settle for less than what you earn. Of course, there's a chance you could lose them, but that's not the point. If someone leaves you because you say no to something that goes against your morals, then maybe they weren't the right person for you in the first place. Being firm in your refusal to give in to others' demands can really change the dynamics of a relationship. When someone sees that you're not afraid to say no and won't bend your values to please them, it changes how they see you. It shows that you respect and value yourself, which is very appealing. Saying no isn't just about setting limits with other people. It's also about being honest with yourself. It's about being aware of your true wants and needs in a relationship and sticking to them. It's about not letting the fear of being alone push you into choices that aren't in line with your true self. Let's take a moment to think about this. Saying no is not only okay, it's necessary. It's about staying true to ourselves, living with integrity, as the Stoics stressed. It's about building relationships based on mutual respect and sincere connection instead of fear and obsession. Being able to clearly say no is an important skill to have in both personal and professional situations. People can set limits, use their time wisely, and stay true to themselves by doing this. Learning how to politely and firmly say no can help you avoid burnout, lower your stress, and make your relationships better. Know what's most important to you. First, you need to be sure of your own values and goals before you can truly say no. When you know what's most important to you, you can weigh requests against your personal or business goals. Tell the truth and be direct. Being honest is the best way to say no. Tell them what's going on without going into too much detail or apologizing too much. A simple, "I'm sorry, I can't do this right now," is often enough. Use strong language. Make your choice known in a clear and firm way. Say things like, "I can't commit to this project," instead of, "I don't think this will work," to show that you own your choice. Give other options if you can. When it makes sense, offer options or compromises. You could say something like, "I can't finish this by Friday, but I could have it done by Monday if you can't meet a schedule." Get ready and practice. To boost your confidence, practice telling people no in a variety of situations. Getting lines or answers ready ahead of time can help you feel better when the time comes. Being able to confidently say no is an important life skill that will help you save time and energy. It is possible to learn how to say no in a way that respects both your needs and the needs of others if you are honest and straight. Use assertive language, offer alternatives, and practice often. Lesson number 9, don't always chase value. This fits well with everything we've been talking about, especially when we look at it from a Stoic point of view. Stoicism tells us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. When we think about relationships, this idea is very powerful because it helps us understand that chasing after someone who is going away from us is not only pointless, but it also goes against knowing our own worth. Let's say you're dating someone and things are going well, but then they start pulling away. Our first instinct, which we've all felt, is to run after them to try to close the gap. But Stoicism can help us do that. Stoics would ask, "Why are you pursuing something that you can't control?" The answer lies in your sense of self-worth, your sense of dignity, and your peace of mind. If someone is pulling away, following them is like trying to catch water in your hands. It doesn't work and makes you feel empty. The conservative way of life tells you to be sure of your own worth. If someone is moving away from you, let them go. It's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about realizing that you can't control how other people feel or act, but you can control how you react. Let's face it, this isn't easy. It takes a lot of inner strength to resist the urge to check up on someone. It's believing that if someone really values you, they'll show it. It's refusing to let someone else's behavior affect you. Defining your worth means saying, "I deserve respect," and if you can't see that in yourself, someone else will. This changes everything. It gives you control over your feelings and actions again. You're no longer dependent on other people's decisions. It's freeing and empowering, and here's the best part. When you stop chasing other people and start investing in your own life and growth, you naturally attract people who are drawn to your strength, confidence, and self-worth. It's as if you're broadcasting a message that declares, "I value myself, and I'm aware of it." So let's internalize this lesson. Let's reaffirm that we never have to chase after anyone. Let's adopt a Stoic mindset in our relationships, composed, self-respecting, and concentrating on what we can manage. It's about discovering inner peace within ourselves, not seeking validation from others. As we come to the end of our conversation today, I want you to hold on to something very important in the vast canvas of life. Your self-worth is like the brightest thread that binds everything together. Just like the Stoics believed, you can decide how you respond to what happens around you. Don't forget you are in control of your own honor and self-esteem. Embrace your inner strength. Let your actions, decisions, and limits reflect the amazing person you are, and if you ever doubt yourself, recall this moment and the Stoic wisdom we've discussed. Life isn't just something you endure. It's an opportunity to evolve, becoming stronger and wiser each day. If you enjoyed our video today, why not explore further? Take a look at our playlist displayed on the screen. It's packed with more insights, stories, and tips designed to help you navigate life with greater wisdom and confidence. Click on it, and let's keep going on this journey together. Thanks for joining me in this conversation. Always remember that you're not on this journey by yourself. We're all working it out together, one step at a time, until our next video. Stay safe, smart, and keep being the strong person you are.